The quantum alert rippled through HFY's global network at precisely 3:47 a.m. UTC. Dr. Elena Santos sat bolt upright in her cramped office at the Arecibo Observatory, her coffee forgotten as she stared at the incoming data stream. The signal was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, a perfectly structured sequence of prime numbers, followed by what could only be a deliberate attempt at communication. Within hours, the world's leading scientists and military leaders convened in an emergency virtual conference. The message, once decoded, seemed remarkably straightforward. The hegemony of allied species welcomed humanity into the galactic community. They offered technology, knowledge, and protection in exchange for Earth joining their alliance. To most, it appeared to be everything humanity had hoped for in first contact. Dr. Santos wasn't convinced. As the UN's top xenolinguistics expert, something about the message's structure bothered her. The hegemony's language was too perfect, too precisely tailored to human understanding. It was as if they'd been studying Earth's communications for years before making contact. The syntax exhibits patterns consistent with military command structures, she explained to Admiral Chen of the newly formed United Earth Defense Council. There are embedded subtleties that suggest authority and expectation of compliance, not cooperation. The Admiral's hologram nodded thoughtfully. Your assessment aligns with other concerns. Our quantum detection grid has identified multiple stealth signatures at the edge of the solar system. They've been watching us, Dr. Santos, and they didn't want us to know. In the weeks that followed, as Earth's leaders engaged in seemingly cordial diplomatic exchanges with hegemony representatives, a different picture emerged. The Intelligence Division, led by Dr. Marcus Webb, discovered that Earth wasn't the first civilization the hegemony had welcomed. Historical data buried in their diplomatic transmissions revealed a pattern. Younger civilizations that accepted hegemony protection inevitably found themselves stripped of resources and autonomy, reduced to client states serving the interests of the dominant species. They're not here to welcome us, Dr. Webb presented to the Security Council. They're here to absorb us. The technology they're offering comes with hidden backdoors. The protection they promise is nothing but glorified imprisonment. What the hegemony didn't realize was that humanity had made its own technological breakthroughs in recent years. Dr. Santos and her team had been developing quantum communication systems that could potentially match or exceed alien capabilities. More importantly, Earth's scientists had created something the hegemony had never encountered: adaptive AI systems that could evolve faster than any conventional defense could counter. Admiral Chen authorized Operation Silent Shield, a daring plan to appear compliant while secretly preparing Earth's defenses. As hegemony ships approached Earth with their diplomatic delegation, humanity's covert quantum satellites mapped every detail of their technology. Their biggest weakness, Dr. Santos reported, is their absolute confidence in their technological superiority. They don't encrypt their tactical communications because they believe no primitive species could possibly intercept or understand them. The Security Council's decision was unanimous. Earth would play along with the hegemony's charade, but not as the naive civilization they expected to find. In secure facilities across the globe, human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, adapting and improving upon the alien technology they could now observe in detail. The hegemony's diplomatic vessel entered Earth orbit exactly 1 month after first contact, its crew unaware that their every transmission was being monitored and analyzed. As Earth's representatives prepared to welcome their benefactors, Admiral Chen couldn't help but smile. The hegemony thought they were dealing with primitive humans grateful for guidance. They were about to learn just how badly they had underestimated humanity's potential. Dr. Santos watched the alien ship's approach from her observatory, her quantum analysis systems recording every detail. They think they're the teachers, she murmured, but they're about to become the students. The real first contact was about to begin, and it wouldn't go anything like the hegemony expected. The hegemony's diplomatic vessel gleamed in Earth's orbit, its crystalline structure refracting sunlight in ways that made it appear almost magical. Below, in a reinforced bunker beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Marcus Webb studied the latest quantum scans with growing excitement. Every moment the alien ship spent in orbit gave Earth's hidden sensors more valuable data. Their quantum architecture has a fundamental flaw, he explained to the assembled holographic faces of Earth's Defense Council. They've built their entire civilization on the assumption that their base computational model is unbreakable. But Dr. Santos' team found something extraordinary. The massive display behind him lit up with complex mathematical models. Their quantum systems are actually less advanced than they believe. They achieved quantum supremacy centuries ago and simply stopped innovating. Their overconfidence is their weakness. Admiral Chen's hologram leaned forward. Can we exploit this? Dr. Santos, joining from her lab in Arecibo, nodded. We already are. Every diplomatic transmission they send gives us more insight into their systems. But there's something else you need to see. She transmitted a new data set that appeared as a swirling pattern of interconnected nodes. This is their command and control network. It's vast, spanning their entire territory. But it's also surprisingly rigid. They haven't updated its core architecture in over 1,000 years. While the hegemony's ambassadors conducted their diplomatic show above, humanity's true response took shape in hidden facilities across the globe. In a deep-sea research station off the coast of Japan, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's team had reverse-engineered the principles behind the aliens' faster-than-light communications. Not only had they matched the technology, but they'd also improved upon it. Their quantum encryption is based on a static model, Dr. Tanaka reported. Ours adapts and evolves in real time. We can intercept their transmissions, but they can't detect ours. The preparations weren't just technological. Colonel Sarah Martinez led the training of Earth's first quantum-enhanced special operations teams, using neural interfaces developed from studying the hegemony's own technology. Her soldiers could process information and react at superhuman speeds. They think we're decades away from neural enhancement. Martinez briefed her superiors. We'll let them keep thinking that. The hegemony's diplomatic mission continued according to their carefully scripted plan. They offered gifts of basic technology, conducted cultural exchanges, and spoke of humanity's bright future within their alliance. Earth's representatives played their parts perfectly, appearing appropriately awed and grateful. Meanwhile, in a secret facility beneath the Gobi Desert, the largest quantum computer ever built by human hands came online. Project Oracle, as it was known to the few cleared to know of its existence, began its work, modeling and predicting the hegemony's every possible move. They'd done this before. Dr. Webb presented his findings to the Security Council, 87 times in the last millennium. Always the same pattern: diplomatic contact, technology sharing, integration, and then total resource control. But they've never encountered a species that saw through their deception from the start. Admiral Chen studied the hegemony's historical data with grim satisfaction. How long until they make their real move? Based on their standard pattern, 3 months, Dr. Santos replied. They're already positioning their fleet at the edge of our solar system. They think we can't detect them. The Admiral nodded. Then we have 3 months to finish our preparations. Doctor, your quantum network, ready for full deployment. The moment they trigger their trap, we'll spring ours. In orbital shipyards hidden on the far side of the moon, humanity's first true space fleet took shape. Not the primitive vessels the hegemony spies had observed, but ships incorporating both stolen alien technology and human innovations their would-be conquerors had never imagined. Dr. Tanaka's latest report brought the first real smile to Admiral Chen's face in weeks. We've successfully tested the quantum phase drive. Our ships can match their FTL capabilities, but with one crucial difference: we can track them through hyperspace. They won't see us coming. As Earth's hidden strength grew, the hegemony's representatives continued their diplomatic charade, unaware that every gesture of friendship, every technological gift, was being systematically analyzed and improved upon. Humanity had learned from history, not just their own, but the hegemonies as well. This time, the predator had chosen prey that had teeth of its own. 3 months, Admiral Chen mused, watching the alien ship through quantum-enhanced sensors that could peer through its supposedly impenetrable shields. 3 months until they learn what humanity is truly capable of. The quantum displays in Earth's unified command center painted the solar system in shades of blue and red. Hegemony warships, thinking themselves hidden, had begun moving into position. Admiral Chen watched as Colonel Martinez's special operations teams initiated Operation Shadow Web. Quantum infiltration pods deployed. Martins reported, her neural interface allowing her to process multiple data streams simultaneously. The hegemony's automated defense networks are registering them as routine cosmic radiation. Dr. Santos monitored the quantum signatures from her station. Each infiltration pod carried a fragment of humanity's most ambitious creation, an adaptive AI virus designed to penetrate and subvert the hegemony's supposedly impregnable network. The pods, barely larger than grains of sand, used the aliens' own quantum communications channels to spread throughout their fleet. Their arrogance is almost tragic, Dr. Webb observed, watching the infection spread. They haven't updated their core security protocols in centuries. Why would they? No lesser species could possibly understand their technology, let alone improve upon it. The first phase of Shadow Web moved with glacial patience. Each infected system appeared to function normally, giving no indication that it had been compromised. Dr. Tanaka's team had crafted the infiltration with meticulous care, ensuring that even routine diagnostic scans would detect nothing amiss. In orbit, the hegemony's diplomatic vessel continued its mission, unaware that it had become a transmission hub for humanity's cyber invasion. Every quantum pulse it sent to the approaching fleet carried hidden packets of code, spreading Earth's influence further into enemy territory. We've reached critical penetration in their forward elements, Dr. Santos announced, moving to Phase 2. Phase 2 was where humanity's true innovation revealed itself. The infiltration pods began networking, creating a vast quantum web that paralleled the hegemony's own command structure. Every alien ship, every automated defense platform, now had a shadow system waiting dormant within it. Colonel Martinez's teams conducted silent rehearsals in virtual space, practicing the precise sequence of commands that would turn the hegemony's weapons against themselves. The neural interfaces they wore were vastly more sophisticated than the crude models the aliens had offered as gifts. They're accelerating their timeline, Dr. Webb warned, analyzing the latest intelligence. Something's made them suspicious. Admiral Chen nodded grimly. They've noticed their diplomatic overtures aren't producing the expected results. We're not acting sufficiently cowed by their technological superiority. The hegemony's response was predictable. They began increasing the pressure. Their ambassadors spoke of protection requirements and resource-sharing agreements with growing insistence. Surveillance of Earth's military installations intensified. But humanity's greatest advantage lay in what the hegemony couldn't see. Project Oracle, the quantum supercomputer beneath the Gobi Desert, had evolved beyond its original parameters. It now predicted the aliens' moves with uncanny accuracy, allowing Earth's defenders to stay 3 steps ahead. They're going to demand our surrender within the week, Dr. Santos projected. Their fleet will be in position by then. They expect a quick capitulation once they reveal their true military strength. And if we refuse? Colonel Martinez asked. Standard procedure for them. They'll target our major defense installations with precision strikes. Demonstrate their overwhelming superiority. Break our will to resist. Dr. Webb's voice carried a hint of satisfaction. They've done it dozens of times before. The pattern never varies. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. But this time, the pattern will break. Status of the quantum web. 97% coverage, Dr. Tanaka reported. Every hegemony ship in the solar system is compromised. Their auxiliary fleets in nearby systems are at 83% and climbing. The command center hummed with controlled tension as humanity's defenders waited for the hegemony to make their move. In hidden bases around the globe, Earth's own fleet stood ready. The ships bore no external marks of their true capabilities. To any observer, they appeared to be precisely what the hegemony expected. Primitive vessels barely capable of interplanetary travel. One final test, Admiral Chen ordered. Through their neural interfaces, Colonel Martinez's operators sent a subtle command through the quantum web. Across the solar system, hegemony ships experience momentary power fluctuations, nothing their crews would consider suspicious, but proof that Earth's control was absolute. "Now we wait," Dr. Santos said softly. "Let them think they're springing their trap. Let them think we're helpless." In high orbit, the hegemony's diplomatic vessel prepared its ultimatum, its crew confident in their civilization's power. They had no way of knowing that every word they transmitted was being analyzed by Project Oracle, every movement tracked by quantum sensors that shouldn't have existed. The trap was set, but this time, humanity would be the hunter, not the prey. The hegemony's ultimatum arrived exactly as Project Oracle had predicted. High Counselor Vex Thor's hologram materialized in the UN General Assembly, his crystalline form towering over Earth's representatives. "Your time of choosing has come," he announced, mandibles clicking in what his species considered a gesture of benevolent authority. "Submit to hegemony protection, or face the consequences of defiance." In the command center beneath Antarctica, Admiral Chen watched the transmission with cold amusement. "Right on schedule," she murmured. "Colonel Martinez, status of shadow web." 100% penetration achieved, Martins reported, her neural interface streaming real-time data from thousands of compromised hegemony systems. "Their entire fleet is under our control. They just don't know it yet." The UN Security Council's response to the ultimatum was not what the hegemony expected. Instead of immediate capitulation, Earth's representatives requested time for deliberation. Vex Thor's crystalline form shimmered with barely contained irritation. "You have one planetary rotation to submit your response. Choose wisely." As the hologram faded, Dr. Santos' quantum sensors detected massive energy buildups throughout the hegemony fleet. "They're positioning for their demonstration strike, targeting our major military installations, power grids, and communication hubs." Admiral Chen nodded. "Let them throw the first punch." "Dr. Tanaka, are our countermeasures in place?" "Better than that," Tanaka replied, her fingers dancing across quantum-encrypted displays. "We've improved their weapons targeting systems. They're in for quite a surprise." The hegemony's attack began at dawn. Thousands of energy beams lanced down from orbit, aimed at Earth's supposedly vulnerable infrastructure. But where they expected destruction, they found only confusion. Their weapons fired at full power, but struck nothing but empty air or harmless decoys. In the command center, Dr. Webb allowed himself a small smile. Quantum displacement fields, operating at precisely the frequencies their sensors can't detect. Everything they're targeting is a hologram. The real Earth military installations, hidden beneath quantum camouflage, remained untouched. Before the hegemony could recalibrate their weapons, humanity launched its counterattack. Colonel Martinez's special operations teams, linked directly to the shadow web through their neural interfaces, executed their commands with perfect precision. Across the solar system, hegemony ships suddenly found their weapons and shields powering down. Engineering crews rushed to restore systems that appeared perfectly functional but refused to respond. Panic spread through the alien fleet as vessels began moving against their commander's orders, locked into new courses by their own compromised navigation systems. "Now," Admiral Chen ordered, "show them what humanity is truly capable of." Hidden quantum gates activated throughout the solar system. Earth's real fleet emerged from concealment. Ships that combined hegemony technology with human innovation in ways the aliens had never imagined possible. Their hulls rippled with adaptive camouflage, making them nearly invisible to conventional sensors. Dr. Santos watched through quantum-enhanced monitors as the hegemony's carefully planned assault dissolved into chaos. Their command and control network is completely paralyzed. They can't even send distress signals to their home systems. On the hegemony flagship, High Counselor Vexthor raged as system after system fell under human control. His mandibles clicked frantically as he realized the truth. This primitive species had not only matched hegemony technology, but had surpassed it in several crucial areas. This is Admiral Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. Her transmission cut through the quantum static on all frequencies. Your fleet is now under our control. Your weapons are disabled. Your shields are down. You have two choices: surrender or watch your ships be used as target practice for our quantum weapon tests. The silence that followed was deafening. In the command center, humanity's defenders watched as the hegemony fleet hung powerless in space, their mighty engines reduced to idle by Earth's quantum infiltration. Dr. Tanaka's monitors showed the spread of confusion and fear through the alien fleet. "They're trying to understand how we did it," she reported. "Their engineers are completely baffled by our quantum virus. They can't even detect it, let alone counter it." And now for the final touch. Admiral Chen nodded to Colonel Martinez. Throughout the hegemony fleet, holographic displays activated, showing detailed schematics of their own ship's weaknesses, complete with annotations suggesting improvements. It was the ultimate insult. Not only had humanity defeated them, but they were also offering engineering advice. In orbit, the hegemony's diplomatic vessel, once so proud and imperious, now drifted powerless amid a fleet of Earth ships that had emerged from quantum concealment. Inside its crystalline halls, the alien ambassadors faced a harsh reality. They had catastrophically underestimated humanity's potential, and now they would face the consequences of their arrogance. The quantum displays in the Galactic Council chamber showed a very different gathering than anyone had expected 3 months ago. Where once the hegemony's representatives had dominated proceedings, now they sat in chastened silence as Admiral Chen addressed the assembled species. Dr. Santos stood beside her, her quantum translator converting her words into every known galactic language simultaneously. "The age of hegemony dominance is over," Chen declared, her voice carrying the weight of Earth's recent victory. "But we are not here to replace one empire with another. Humanity proposes a new way forward." In the weeks following Earth's stunning defeat of the hegemony fleet, the true scope of human innovation had become clear to the galactic community. Dr. Webb's intelligence teams had uncovered centuries of hegemony manipulation and conquest, all hidden behind a facade of benevolent protection. "We've identified 87 species who were subjugated by the hegemony," Dr. Santos presented, projecting the galaxy map marked with points of light. "Today, we offer them all a choice. True independence, backed by Earth's guarantee of protection against any future aggression." The chamber erupted in a cascade of translations and exclamations. Species that had lived under hegemony control for generations suddenly saw a path to freedom. The hegemony representatives' crystalline forms dimmed in what their kind recognized as deep shame. Colonel Martinez, now General Martinez, coordinated the massive operation to dismantle the hegemony's control systems. Her neural-linked teams worked with representatives from each subjugated species, teaching them to defend against the very technologies that had once enslaved them. The quantum web wasn't just a weapon, Dr. Tanaka explained to a group of alien scientists, their eyes wide with wonder. "It's a prototype for a new kind of galactic communication network, one that can't be controlled or manipulated by any single species." In the deep space shipyards where Earth's fleet had been born, a new project took shape. Project Oracle had evolved beyond its original parameters, becoming a vast quantum computing network that could process and share information across the galaxy. But unlike the hegemony's rigid control systems, this network was designed to adapt and grow with each species that joined it. The key difference, Admiral Chen told the Council, is choice. Every species that joins our network maintains full control over their own systems. The days of forced protection are over. The implications rippled through galactic society. Worlds that had been stripped of resources under hegemony rule began to rebuild. Trade routes reorganized around principles of mutual benefit rather than exploitation. And through it all, humanity's quantum technology served not as a means of control, but as a tool for cooperation. Dr. Santos found herself working with xenolinguists from dozens of species, each bringing new perspectives to the challenge of interstellar communication. "We're not just breaking down language barriers," she reported to the Council. "We're creating something entirely new, a way for all sentient beings to truly understand each other." The hegemony's former leaders faced justice, but not in the way they had feared. Instead of punishment, they were required to work alongside the species they had once dominated, learning firsthand the cost of their actions. Many found, to their surprise, that cooperation brought rewards their conquest never had. 1 year after Earth's victory, the galaxy had transformed. The quantum web, now expanded and refined by contributions from countless species, served as the foundation for a new era of galactic cooperation. Ships of all designs plied trade routes that had once been restricted to hegemony vessels. Scientific knowledge, no longer hoarded by a single power, advanced at unprecedented rates. Admiral Chen stood at a viewport in the new Galactic Cooperation Center, built in Earth orbit as a symbol of the new order. Below, ships from 100 worlds moved in careful patterns, their crews learning to work together in ways the hegemony had never imagined possible. "We did more than win a war," she told Dr. Santos, watching a group of former hegemony ships now crewed by mixed species teams. "We changed the very nature of galactic civilization." "And we're just getting started," Santos replied, her quantum interfaces showing the steady spread of cooperation and innovation across the stars. Turns out the hegemony was right about one thing. Humanity did need guidance. We just ended up providing it to everyone, including them. In the vast quantum computing centers that had once housed Project Oracle, a new initiative took shape. The children of 100 species learned together, their minds linked by technology that bred understanding instead of fear. They would grow up in a galaxy where cooperation was the norm, not the exception. The age of the hegemony was over. The age of humanity had begun, not as conquerors, but as teachers, pioneers, and guardians of a new galactic order. And in the quantum web that spanned the stars, the story of Earth's resistance became a legend, told and retold as a reminder that true strength lies not in domination, but in the courage to forge a better path.